So both women lost in a sense, because my grandmother did not want to put up with a man who had another family. But what was she going to do with 6 children and with no education? She had to stay. And then the other woman was like, damn, I got mixed up with this dude who has a wife and 6 other kids. And now my daughter loses out. So again, we need to teach our sons also how to treat a woman, how to be a good person and a good man. But your daughters also have to know how to treat a man, be in a relationship. You don't have to be combative all the time. You don't have to be with I don't need this and I don't need that. You have to be able to work through situations. And again, like I said, a lot of those women, our mothers raised us to not put up with anything. And in the end, we be lonely.
But, you know, like you say, like, you got to teach your boys this, you got to teach them that. That's true. But again, I'm not even talking from out the air, personal experience. You teach them, maybe you teach them so well or whatever. Like, we don't have no grandkids. So maybe that's off the table right now, the extra families. You know, the extra family. We don't.
Well, that's to your point also. You can't afford a second family in these days.
Yeah, so that's like a back in the day thing. Like I don't really, not many people doing that no more. That was a thing back in the days because guys want, and it was a lot going behind that. Like I heard the stories of like, when you back in those days, like she talking about her grandmother and everything, you talking 50s and 60s and 70s. That was a rough time for the male because he was taking a lot of crap outside of the household. Then he come home and, you feel like less than a man when you can't provide the person. These guys were just up and leave. I'm going to get a pack of cigarettes. They was just up and leaving. Like, was it the right thing to do? No. But that was a different time. Moving forward, in our time, like the 90s, I didn't see it like I know like maybe one person like, and like I said, it coexists, but I don't see a lot of people doing that, like the extra families and stuff like that. That's kind of, who does that a lot? That's kind of like a foreign thing. Like a lot of foreigners have like those extra families. Americans, like black Americans, I'm not saying we exclude it, but it's not running rampant like what the foreigners does. But and for the young males, like I see you guys beefing about, they put posts up. If the bills are $2,500 or $2,000, how much should the female pay? Now, if you got it, you should pay it. If you got it, I feel, honestly, I'm going to be like, I just feel that's just me. Like, you got it, pay it. If you don't got it, you need some help. She should know you need some help, and she should kick in. It shouldn't even be a debate. Like, that's not even a debate. Like, my money is up. I don't care what the female is making. Like, when my money is right, I'm paying regardless. Because regardless, I got to keep it moving. So that's where you guys go wrong. Y'all sit there, she's paid this. Oh, I go on a date and this and that. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, y'all so wrapped up and selfish in yourself that you guys are thinking about what I can't buy. I already know what it is. You thinking about what you can't buy if you buy her something nice. What you can't buy. Like, that old saying, it ain't tricking if you got it. It ain't tricking. Always remember that. If you got it, it ain't tricking. Because it means nothing to you, really. Like, you're like, yeah, make her happy. That's what you guys don't do. Y'all don't want to make y'all girls happy. And vice versa. Y'all not trying to make each other happy. So, therefore, it ain't going to be no happiness. If you're not just trying, like, you go out and you be at the store, you like, I'm going to pick up something for my girl, my wife or whatever, like, just randomly. It don't got to be Valentine's Day.
Yeah, just because.
Just because. Like, I was in here, I seen it, like, hey, this is cute. This is something I think she'll like. Get it. You know what I'm saying? Get it. Don't cry like she didn't get you nothing. Like, y'all can have that conversation. If it's a one-way street and you feel like it's a one-way street, have a conversation. Like, you don't ever think about me when you be out, because I be out and I be thinking about you and when I bought you this necklace. Blah, blah, blah. Don't hold it in and then be mad, because all you do when you hold stuff in, all it is it's like a bomb. It's like, what is it, combustion, when it just builds up and then it's
boom.
boom.
It's gonna build. You're gonna foster all
Yeah.
that resentment, and then when it explodes, you're gonna come with all of the pent up energy from shit that nobody even knew you was angry about.
Exactly, and it only got nothing to do with what you got an issue with. You all into other stuff, and you're like, hold on. It's like this ain't even an issue that I had.
And then you have to ask yourself, why do you feel the need to keep doing something for someone who does nothing for you? And if you feel like that's the only way that person is going to stay with you, then you also have a problem, because you're literally buying the person, you're love bombing them with gifts to make them stay with you. And the other side of that again is that, like I said, if you're going to be the independent woman and you want a companion and you want a mate, you have to do things as a mate.
You do. And as a man, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a list. What you need to do, young ladies, if you want your man, because you don't know what he's going through on the outside, he don't know what you're going through on the outside. That's why it's like, there's that, what is it called? The mediator. Like, sometimes you have to be a mediator in your mind, because it's a reason why a person may act a certain way.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to think, you have to take that in consideration. If this person got an attitude, you don't know what led up to that attitude. You ain't just get an attitude. Something led up during the day. Like, maybe the person don't want to wash your clothes. Well, dang, my clothes ain't washed. Now you want to argue about that. Like, maybe that person did today, some things went on crazy, and you like, dang, you know I got to go to work. My pants and everything's not washed. Instead of you just like go grab another pair of pants and this and that, you want to argue about this nonsense. Like that's nonsense. But all right, back what I was saying. Women, you gotta cook. A lot of y'all don't know how to cook.
There's a reason why that saying is the way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
It's never gonna stop.
That's never going to stop.
Never.
And
if you battling for a man, oh my God. If you really battling, you know he in a relationship, like most people they when they start dating, they're on the end of a relationship, so they're giving you a shot. They're giving you a shot. And you're like, oh shit, I'm getting a shot. Can't cook. Damn, she ain't cooking nothing for me yet. Then he go back home to this other chick that he's like, I'm not even feeling no more, blah, blah, blah.
But you're taken care of.
Yeah, you're taking care of it. And they're like, yeah, fuck her. Like, yo, like, I'm good right here. The grass ain't greener. That ain't the way the grass ain't greener over there. You know, that's one thing. You know, be nurturing, be understanding. Be considerate.
Be considerate.
Like, be considerate.
And that's another thing. You know, you think that, oh, yeah, you know, I want it this way, I want it that way. You have to really think about, would my actions affect my mate? Would the things that I'm doing, the things that I'm saying, would this affect, sometimes you have to, like you said, be the mediator in your own head. Now, if the tables were turned and my man was doing what I'm doing right now, would I be upset? If the answer is yes, then yes, you're doing something wrong. If the answer is like, well, they ain't never going to find out. Again, if you have to sneak and do all these other things and not be considerate of someone else's feelings, you're doing something wrong. If you know it's wrong and you want to do it, you claim you don't want to do a disservice to someone, but you do it anyway, that's a lack in your character. So either you want to have good character or you don't. Either you want to be a good mate or you don't. You're going to do your best, and the other person has to decide if that's enough. And if it isn't, you have to do what you have to do. You know who you're with, and you know what they're capable of doing or not doing. And sometimes it's up to you to decide if you're willing to tolerate and put up with whatever their flaws are or their pros and cons and blah, 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 because no one is perfect. So if you're dealing with someone who's super independent, who's only career driven, and you want a family, you want a nurturing mate, you want a woman who's going to be home and do this and that, then maybe you don't need a career driven woman. And you as a career driven woman, you don't need a man who so-called wants a family, wants the nurturing wife who's not going to be upset to take a year off or 2 years off to stay home with the kids, who's not going to feel like, you're trying to derail my career because, they want you to raise the kids. Weigh your options and figure it out. But don't get 50 and then be mad because you chose the career over companionship, and then you're like mad at the world because there's no good men or there's no good women, and you're choosing women who don't cook, who don't clean, who don't want to nurture, who don't want kids, who don't want traditional, except all they want is traditional from you to take care of them. But they don't want to be the traditional woman, and vice versa, because you have a lot of the hobosexuals out here, hobo sapiens, who are just, will love bomb you to death because they need a place to live.
And that's all they can do. That's all they can do. That's all they can bring. But, you gotta be, who you with. And that old saying, how you get a person is how you gonna lose them. It's the same thing. Like if you come into a relationship and it was cheating and a bunch of other stuff going on, like that's how you got that person, that's how you're going to lose that person. If you come into the relationship and you was tricking crazy, spending money, like you got her by the flash of the money, and then when the real deal comes, y'all get in a relationship, all of that slows down and stop. You mad at her or you mad at him, like this is what I thought it was. This is what I was looking for. I wasn't looking to be a domesticated wife, a housewife and all that.
And that's fine.
I want to party out. I want to be shattered with gifts. You got to find that kind of person. So don't come in fake. And that's what's happening out here today. A lot of people are coming into these relationships so fake. Then when they real self show up, it's a shock. Like, yo, I thought you was turned up. I thought you had the, I didn't know you was living like this. I thought we was going to be in this, that, and the third. We was going to be jet setting and all that. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you really out here looking for a mate, don't do that. Don't talk about, the thing going on. Don't be talking about how much money you make, and you might meet a girl in a club and you flash, you buy an ace of spade, this and that, and then once you get out of that, that was just a night, a moment. Now your real life ain't no ace of spade. Ain't no, the car wasn't yours or whatever. Ain't none of that going down now. And that's what she was attracted to. And you can't be like, oh, she was a gold digger. No, that's how you came at her.
That's how you came.
Because believe it or not, that same female would have probably talked to someone doing less. She would talk to somebody doing less.
Authentic, yeah.
Yeah, they would talk to somebody doing less. Like, yo, this dude he cool, blah, blah, blah. So whatever his real self, this is his real self all the way through. So she ain't expecting nothing like this is what it's going to be. I'm good with that. And
you also got to learn how to communicate that as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to say, oh, I hope, you didn't think that this is my life every day. I work at the post office. You know what I'm saying? I got my tax return and I'm lit this weekend because I got an extra $5,000 or whatever. Sometimes you need to come correct and come clear. And women too, sometimes you need to say, yo, I ain't trying to be, I want to be in the club every weekend. I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm lit every day. You need to say that.
Some people can.
Somebody can deal with that.
And some people are, they with that. They like, all right, I got to see this chick. My money is great. I got to see this chick. I'm spinning, blah, blah, blah. I know what she about, but we're going to have a ball. Like, you got your fun chicks, blah, blah, blah. But don't try to turn a fun chick into a long-term relationship. Because more than likely, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. And just like a dude, I'm not even coming down on women. Don't try to turn a fun dude into your husband. It ain't going to work. He just, that night was fun to him. And you like, he did everything. And you going home and telling your girls, like, this the one, girl. Nah, he doing that with whoever. Like, that was just tonight. Like, yo, this is what he do. This is what he do. He can afford to do it. This is what he do. Don't go home and be like, yo, you trying to make him like, yo, I'm going to be the one. No, you're not. You're not going to be the one. It's not happening. And if he got a girl or whatever, it's really not happening. You're like, yo, you had a good time. Boom. I call you whenever. I'm going home. Boom, boom, boom. That's what it is. That's how that's.
And if you want to be honest, the strong, independent woman who doesn't need a man, sometimes you need to correct that statement too. You don't necessarily need a man, but that don't mean you don't want one. So you could say all that all you want to, because you know what? It eventually clicked with, you know what? Okay, every dude that I was with wanted someone who could cook for them. So sometimes it has to click. Like you have to say, you know what? Yes, niggas like a home-cooked meal. And a good one. And he's like a sweet woman. They want